So, my mother and I lived in Avondale, Arizona, alone. My father had abandoned me and my mother when I was just a baby. At the time, my brother was stationed in Washington, D.C., where he would soon be deployed to Afghanistan. So, me and my mom, we had a great schedule, worked out really well. She worked the night shifts and made sure, even though, came home on time to get me ready for school every single morning. Now, while I was at school, she would sleep as much as she could, but always made sure to be awake on time when I was home. That was our mother-daughter bonding time. We enjoyed it every single moment. She would help me out with my homework, of course, and we would make dinner, except for I did a lot of watching, not really a lot of cooking, so that was okay. But towards the end of the night, she would help me get ready for bed, and she would wish me a sweet dreams and good night, and that she would see me the next morning. Now, this morning was a little different. There was a knock on the door, and my neighbor comes in and there's tears coming down her face. "Sarah, I need to talk with you. We need to go sit down right now." I said, "Okay." We sit down, and she tells me that my mom had passed out at work, and they had to rush her to the hospital. She said, "We need to gather your things now as fast as we can and get down to her." Once I got there, my mom was on a respirator. She was unresponsive. I took her hand, and I did not want to leave her side one bit. After running tests that whole day, the doctor pulled us aside and let us know that my mom had suffered a brain aneurysm, and she was pronounced brain dead. We made a decision to take her off life support that day, followed by a priest coming in so they can say a beautiful prayer in my mom's spirit. We each went around the room saying a few things. It was my turn. I grabbed my mother's hand. I held it tight, and I looked at her, and I said, "I am my kid at Hope. I am talented, smart, and capable of success. I have dreams for the future, and I'm going to climb to reach those goals and dreams every day. No exceptions." People always ask me, "Why did you recite the Kids at Hope pledge at that moment?" I wanted my mom to know that no matter what, I was going to be okay. I wasn't going to lose hope. I was going to hold on. Now, it's been 8 years since I've lost my best friend, my number one supporter, my mom. However, there is one thing I did not lose that day, and that's hope. I held on to that one word. Now, life decided to push me down, but I never once gave up on myself. Now, people always ask me, "How do you stay so strong?" Well, for starters, it wasn't always easy. But what made it easier were the people around me. For starters, my teachers. Once returning back to school, I was nervous. I was afraid I wasn't going to make it throughout the day. I knew I was behind, and I wasn't looking forward to playing catch up. So I walked in the classroom, I sat down, and I started to panic. My teacher walks up to me and brings me this giant packet of homework. Great. But instead of walking away, in that moment, she sits down with me and looks me in the eyes and says, "I believe in you. Don't feel like you're alone, because we're going to work through this together. And if you have any questions, I'm right here to help. You got this." Little did she know, she was absolutely right. I went home that night so determined to finish the entire thing. Now, it took me a couple extra days, but once I finished, I knew I was capable of anything I put my mind to. Now, I do have other supporters, and this one is my brother. As the end of my 8th grade year approached, I remember sitting down at the table with him, and he simply asked me what my thoughts and feelings were when it came to high school. I tried to act brave, but he could tell in my voice that I was nervous. He smiles at me, and I'm like, what is going on? And he's like, you have nothing to worry about, sis. You got this. Both mom and I both believe in you. You are smart, funny, and strong. Your journey is just beginning, so start setting your goals now, and you will get there. But don't forget to have some fun. I listened to every single word he told me, just like my teachers. And I was so determined for what was to come. Now, my first day of high school was finally here. I couldn't wait to walk the campus as a freshman. But every single morning, I always started off with the pledge. So just because I wasn't a middle school anymore didn't mean I couldn't recite this pledge. So I went in my room, I looked in the mirror, and I slowly read that pledge out loud. I now felt that I was ready for high school. Now, elementary school is fun, but high school, it's a blast. But it's hard work as well. But I chose to have a good attitude each day. And trust me, it was not easy because I missed my mom every single day. But I fought through with hope and strength. I took it day by day, and I knew she was watching me closely, no matter what. Now, I had a choice to be either negative or positive. I chose to be positive. By doing this, I started to create possibilities for myself. I chose to simply change my thoughts to things that would simply bring me happiness. I was born with innate talent, and I get to choose how to express them. I told myself where I want to go, and I let hope guide me towards what I wanted in life. I had my moments when I didn't feel like I could do it, but I pushed through because I knew I could achieve great things. I just had to believe. I knew I was capable of success, and nothing was going to stop me. Now I graduated high school, and it was time to start embracing my dreams of going to college and finally becoming a nurse. But a part of me felt like, how did I even get here? But how could I not when so many people believed in me and pushed me every single day to not give up, to believe? Hope was a word that was given to me when I was just 13 years old. I now understand the power behind this one word, and it's going to continue to guide me through a life filled with happiness. I will forever be a kid of hope.